What is up, guys? Jeremy here, and welcome back to another video. So I'm going to be showing you guys a really cool setup I got on the XS Max right now. I'm going to try and go through all of the different tweaks that I'm using to get this effect, also what themes I'm using, and basically everything. So there will be a lot of different tweaks and themes obviously featured within this video, and I'll leave them listed all down in the description for those of you that want to download and try any of them out. Also stay tuned in at the end of this video, and I'm going to show you guys how you can search for any package in Cydia, and it will tell you exactly what repo you need in order to install that package. It's super useful. So I probably won't have any of the repos down in the description, but like I said, I'll show you guys this tool at the end of the video where you can actually just search for it. It'll show you exactly what repo you need, and you can easily add it to Cydia using that. And also, for those of you that are always asking me where can you get my wallpapers, you can get them on my Telegram. I'll leave a link for that in the description as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's jump into this setup. So first up, we have SnowBoard. Obviously, that's what's theming my device, or the tool / tweak that allows me to theme all of the different icons. And I do have a lot of different extensions for SnowBoard that I'm using as well. So just take a look at SnowBoard, and then you can also search for their extensions. You will need some of them to do like the settings application, also the Respring logo, and some other stuff. But we can go ahead and jump into SnowBoard, and I'll show you guys the themes that I'm currently using. So my main theme is the, and excuse me if I pronounce this wrong, is Gateau. I also am using icons from DarkBoard XS. I'm also using icons from Pulsar and icons from Marvix. So these are the themes that I have enabled with this setup. And the cool thing about SnowBoard, if you guys didn't know, is when you go and put your icons into wiggle mode with SnowBoard, if you double tap the icon, you can choose any of the icons from the themes that you have enabled within SnowBoard. So you can pick and choose between different icons as you wish. So that is how I am able to customize all the different icons. That's a very cool trick about SnowBoard that you guys might not know about. I'll show you another one here, for example, on Cydia. So if we double tap, if I want to change to that icon there, I can just click on it, open it back up. We can switch to that icon. We can even switch it back to the normal icon. It's just a really cool trick to know about. That's the icon I prefer. So that's how I've gone through and customized all of the different icons with these themes. As you can see, some of them look a little different. And then in my folders here, I do have a bunch of apps that obviously don't have themes, and I just have them tucked away in their folders, so it doesn't take away from this setup. So very cool looking with the different icons, again using SnowBoard and a bunch of different extensions to enable all this cool looking theming that's going on with my device. Another tweak that I'm using to change the layout of the springboard is called Cuboid. It's a free tweak. It's similar to Boxy 3. If you guys are using Boxy 3, you can do the same thing with that tweak. But with Cuboid, all you got to do is put your icons into wiggle mode and then tap and hold on the status bar just like so, and it opens up the settings for Cuboid, and then you can change the layout of all of your icons. And as you guys can see, I also have my icon set to a 5x4 and not a 6x4. So I can have a little bit more screen real estate at the top and at the bottom. But Cuboid is a great tweak to have that will allow you to change the layout of your springboard. Alright, now we can go ahead and jump into the settings application. I have my settings very much tweaked out for this setup. It's pretty crazy looking, so we'll go ahead and launch settings. So here's my settings. As you guys can see, it looks nothing like normal settings. There's actually a lot of different tweaks at play to make it look like this, and unfortunately 2 of the icons are not themed with the themes that I have enabled, which is a little disappointing. So the little tweak icon is not themed, and then VPN isn't themed either. It's weird though, because when I drop down the settings there, as you can see, there is an icon for VPN, but when you squish it back up, as you can see, it goes back to that VPN. So a little disappointing. It's almost complete. I guess I could toy around with some other themes that might complete those 2 icons, but that's the only thing in settings that isn't themed as far as the little icons. And it's pretty cool how I have this set up. So first up, to change the settings into dark mode, I have BetterSettings. BetterSettings really allows you to customize a bunch of different aspects within settings. We can go ahead and jump into better settings right here. As you guys can see, there's a ton of customization you can do to your settings application with that tweak. I'm also using SettingsCollapse. That's what's allowing me to collapse these menus into just icons. A very, very cool tweak. So we can even collapse my Apple ID at the top. So that makes it look even more simple. You literally just have the icons. The icons are swipeable, and you can just click into an icon and it takes you right into that position of settings. Like here's general, as you guys can see. So if you know what the icons look like, you can keep them collapsed like this and just go directly to the icons, which I think is absolutely awesome. Another tweak that I'm using is called a shuffle, and that allows me to have this top section right here, which has tweaks, apps, and system apps. So it's another must-have tweak for settings. And that's pretty much the core tweaks that I have going on for settings right now. Another tweak that I'm using to theme my battery icon is called Bazzi 2. Another very cool tweak to customize the battery on your device. Now, if you guys are on iOS 13, of course you don't need this tweak, but in order to enable dark mode, since my device is on iOS 12, I am using Noctis. And as you guys can see, I have Cydia in dark mode. I have a bunch of other applications that are in dark mode, and that is due to Noctis. It basically brings dark mode system-wide to iOS 12 devices. But like I said, if you guys are on iOS 13, you obviously don't have to worry about that tweak. PageBar is really cool. It allows you to customize the page dots. As you guys can see, I have X's and O's. As I swipe from page to page, the X moves back and forth. A really cool effect. There's a few different themes you can choose from for PageBar. You can actually make it a complete bar, which looks really neat. You can have just circles. You can have different animations as you swipe back and forth for that. Very customizable tweak, very cool. Again, that's PageBar. I'm using Sonus 12 to make my volume HUD even more minimal. I believe Sonus 13 is out as well. For those of you that are on iOS 13, you can get this tweak, and it really lets you fully customize the volume HUD on your device to be whatever you want it to be and wherever you want it to be on your device. As you guys can see, I have mine really tiny, and it's up in the status bar basically, and I think that's even more minimal than Apple's new iOS 13 style. And like I said, Sonus 13 allows you to customize it on iOS 13, so if you still don't like the Apple design volume HUD, you can use Sonus to fully customize it. You can change colors, you can change sizes, and you can change positioning, animations, basically full control over that volume HUD and put it anywhere on your device. Very cool tweak. Again, that's called Sonus. I'm using a tweak called Clean Home Screen to hide a bunch of different aspects on my device. We can go into not Cydia, we'll go into settings here, go into my tweaks, and then we will go into Clean Home Screen. And as you guys can see, these are all the different things you can declutter on your device, or pretty much just make them invisible or not there. There's a lot of cool stuff, and like I said, I am using this to simplify my device even more than it already is. So another great tweak. Again, that is called Clean Home Screen. I'm also using Springtomize 4 to do a few other things. As you guys can see, my device is absolutely ridiculous with tweaks right now. Surprisingly, it runs great, and the battery is amazing, and I don't know how with all these tweaks, but they all seem to work together. But anyways, Springtomize 4 is like a Swiss Army knife tweak. You can do just so much stuff with it. I am using Springtomize 4 to customize some other aspects on my iPhone. I think I'm using the hide dock background with Springtomize 4. There's other options. There's just a ton of different options. You have animations. I'm not going to go through all of Springtomize 4 just because, like I said, it's just a massive tweak, but definitely worth having to give your iPhone this kind of setup. It's really an essential tool to have, and it's very cool. Another tweak that I'm using is called CleanTab. So if we go into Cydia here, and as you guys will notice on the bottom with the tabs there, there's actually no names for the tabs. They're just the little icons down there, and like I said, it's a very minimal and cool look with CleanTab, removing the names. If we go into the App Store, it does the same thing there. As you can see, it's just the icons on that bottom tab. There's no names. Very cool, simple tweak that allows you to hide all those names. Again, that's called CleanTab. Now moving on to the widget, because I'm sure you guys are curious about it. I am using the tweak XenHTML. I don't know why I keep going into Cydia when I want to go into settings. But I am using XenHTML to use widgets on the home screen here. we can go into the home screen, go into the background widgets, and the widget I'm using is called Weather 12. It is for iOS 12. You can also get Weather 13 for iOS 13 as well. It's the same widget. I think it's a great looking widget. You have your clock and date. You also do have the current weather, so you have your temperature, the weather conditions, and a little icon for the weather, which looks really good as well. And then on the lock screen here, I am using a little widget called LS EW.Battery, and it puts my battery percentage down on the very bottom. As you guys can see, it says discharging, and I am at 53%. When it's charging, obviously it says charging, and it's a very simple little widget that I put there just because I'm hiding the status bar on the lock screen. That way I can just look and see what my battery percentage is. So a little widget, and just added it to the bottom there. So very functional. XenHTML is amazing. There's some amazing widgets you can get. I'll probably do a best widgets video here eventually, just because there's so many great widgets you can actually have on your iPhone. Now going back to the lock screen, obviously you guys seen some tweaks here. We got JellyFish, fully customizable. You can customize the clock, date. You also have weather on your lock screen. You can have it colorize. You can make it bigger. You can make it smaller. You can move it to the middle or to the left. I like it to the right. I think it looks really cool. We also have the tweak FingerLock. Allows you to just tap on that little finger icon to unlock your device instead of swiping up. It's just kind of a cool little tweak to have. I like it on the XS Max with the Face ID. It's just nice to just tap on that fingerprint. And then I'm also using Axon for all of my notifications. As you guys can see here, if we go into Crash Reporter, as you guys can see, it's just a cool way to have your notifications set up on your lock screen, and it's very customizable as well. There's a lot of different settings you can change with Axon, so another really great tweak to have. And the last place I'm going to show you guys that is tweaked out for this setup is in Control Center. So this is what my Control Center looks like. I'm using CCColor to make the background completely black, which I think looks really cool. I'm using BetterCCXI to change the layout of my connectivity toggles. As you guys can see, it's basically a line of 5 icons versus being that little square of 4. Like I said, I did that with BetterCCXI. I'm also using ChromaHomeBarX to customize the home bar on my XS Max. As you guys can see, it's probably pretty hard to see in video. You guys might not even be able to see it in this video, but I have it as a very transparent gray color. That way it's just less noticeable than normal. You can use ChromaHomeBarX 10 to actually like colorize it and do some really cool animations with the home bar, but I'm using it to just make it look more stealthy and less noticeable throughout my device, and it's a really cool tweak to have to do that. Also in Control Center, I'm using Magma Pro that allows me to colorize the toggles. So I've colorized the connectivity toggles. As you guys can see there, you can actually use Magma Pro to colorize all of these different icons or different toggles, which is really cool. So I could colorize Cydia, I could colorize Minecraft or Twitter to be whatever color I want it to be. So it's definitely very, very cool. Another tweak is CCModules, which allows you to add a ton of different modules like app shortcuts like I have at the top there. We also have, toggles like Respring, UI Cache, Safe Mode, a bunch of different stuff. And that's going to be pretty much it for this setup, guys. Those are all the different tweaks that I'm using to get this effect, and those are the themes. Like I said, everything will be listed down in the description for you guys. And the last thing I wanted to show you is iOS Repo Updates. It is an application or website that will allow you to search for any tweak or package from Cydia, and then it will tell you what repo you need to add in order to get that tweak. So we'll do Axon. Axon is one of the tweaks I showed you guys. All you got to do is type it out. Make sure you spell the tweak 100% correctly. Go ahead and click on search, and like I said, it's going to show you what repo you need in order to get that tweak. So this is the repo right here, the very top one, and as you can see, it does display the repo at the very top, and you can click on add, and then you can instantly add it to Cydia, just like so. So if there's any tweaks listed in the description and you guys can't figure out what repo it is, make sure you use iOS Repo Updates to find that tweak. It's super useful and handy to have, and like I said, it just allows you to add that source directly to Cydia. Super functional. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this best setup video. If you did, definitely throw me a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot here at the channel. And if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, don't forget to click that subscribe button. This has been Jeremy, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.